This is the Solo Coach podcast, where it's all about everything you need to build your business solo. Look, building a business alone can feel almost impossible. There's just so much to get done. That's just your doubt talking. I'm Michelle Sarah, and I'm here to talk you through building a one-woman coaching business from the ground up. I'm talking marketing, time-saving systems, AI shortcuts, client attraction, energy, and belief, all to help you find your way, no matter your age, stage, or starting point. Ready? Let's get going. How many times a month do you feel overwhelmed in building your business? For me, it's even now at this point in time, you'd think that I didn't feel overwhelmed at all, but that's not true. I feel it probably at least once a week. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you secretly chastise yourself for feeling overwhelmed over and over again, don't worry. I do too. I still do. I think it's absolutely normal. However, I do want to give you some thoughts around and some tips around mind management, because it really does help. Just because you feel overwhelmed, or say, for example, I feel overwhelmed, at least once a week, it doesn't mean I stay there. It doesn't mean that I let it derail me and take me out of a flow of work or progress in my business. The thing about feeling overwhelmed is it completely takes you out of that feeling of empowerment. Feels like your brain is constantly running a marathon that it's never trained for. You're doing all the things, right? All the things. And you've got the strategies, you've got the marketing plan, you've got the offers, and yet somehow it still feels like you're running in circles. And trust me, with all of that, you kind of are running in circles, because it's a rinse and repeat kind of thing, right? Technically, I think that's a circle if we look at that workflow. But, some days you're on fire. Same for me. Getting it all done, feeling great, feeling on top of things, and taking things off the list. Other days, you're staring at the screen, wondering if you should just binge watch another season of your favorite show. I confess, I did watch 2 episodes today because there's just so much to do. It's okay. It's normal. And it's important that you know you're not alone in this. Running a coaching business takes more than just checking off tasks on your to-do list. If your mind's a mess, it doesn't matter how much you do. It still feels like you're getting nowhere. Managing what's going on inside your head is what makes everything else flow. And while we're having this heart to heart, I admit that my brain can be a bit of a drama queen sometimes. Yours? One minute you're excited about your business, and the next your thoughts are spiraling into, I don't want to spend another full day on content. Why does it feel like everyone else is having fun, but I'm glued to my laptop? It's an I want this, but I don't want this kind of energy. We call this split energy, and it's exhausting. You're meant to make a difference. Me too. But the constant tug of war between motivation and doubt is wearing you down. The frustration of knowing you have the skills and passion, but feeling stuck in overthinking, procrastination, overwhelm, and self-doubt, that's real. And if we're being totally honest, no amount of productivity hacks or motivational quotes can fix it, because I know this because I have read every single one of the motivational quotes out there, I think. Some days, you see, I'm right there with you. It can feel like an emotional roller coaster with no seatbelt. One minute you're pumped up and ready to take over the world, and the next you're just questioning everything from your offers to your ability to string a coherent sentence together. And it took me quite a while to come across an approach that actually works for me. And the thing in that discovery that I figured out is my brain isn't broken. It's actually wired to freak out when things feel uncertain. And if you haven't figured it out by now, business is full of uncertainty. The more you try to push through, the more resistance you create. It's like trying to run through quicksand, pretty much impossible and downright exhausting. Mind management is the thing that gets you back on the road. And once you learn to manage your thoughts, everything else starts to feel easier. Yes, even the constant content creation. And I want to make a distinction here. This isn't about mindset so much as it is mind management. Okay. And it's understanding how your brain works just on a super simple basic level so that you have a better understanding of what's actually going on when you're in those moments of overwhelm. So once you learn how to manage what's going on inside your head, you'll be able to say bye-bye to the roller coaster most days. And I say most because life is life, you know? What if this whole coaching business thing didn't have to send your mind into a tailspin? You can imagine waking up and feeling clear about what needs to be done and without that mental tug of war. Instead of having days where you struggle with every move, you're making decisions with confidence, showing up consistently, and actually enjoying the process. And believe it or not, those are more my days now than the opposite. So I have more days just like this now than I have days where I'm experiencing overwhelm and getting shut down by it. Actually, it's very rare that I get shut down and derailed by feelings of overwhelm anymore, but I still have them. Okay. So what if your business felt like something you get to do instead of something you have to wrestle with every day? Wouldn't that be such a relief? So incredibly amazing. So here's the thing. Mind management is the new X-ray vision. I love it. And when you get your mind in check, everything else starts to fall into place. You'll finally be able to make decisions without spiraling into overthinking or plain avoidance. You stay focused without feeling overwhelmed, and you can bring an end to the one step forward, two steps back cycle. Know what I mean? And the best part? Once you learn how to work with your mind instead of against it, you'll create a business that flows with way less stress. I'm all in. Sign me up. So here's the simple version. Think of your brain like a vehicle with three passengers inside: the chimp, the human, and the computer. FYI, the chimp is always in the driver's seat. Always. Okay? The chimp is emotional, reactive, and quick to take control. It often hijacks the car and takes you places you never intended to go. The human? This is the logical one who wants to stay on track and reach the destination smoothly. They just want to get where they're going, right? Help people do cool things, have some fun. The computer? The passenger that stores all your habits, good and bad, acting as the car's GPS system. Yes, the chimp checks the GPS system, but if it's programmed with lots of unhelpful habits, well, let's just say things don't go so well. Once you understand who's driving, managing your thoughts becomes easier. I have to pause here to say that while you can't ever get the chimp out of the driver's seat, you can manage it so the ride isn't so treacherous. Because here's the truth. When you get your mind, aka the chimp, in check, everything else falls into place. I like to say that when you elevate your mind, the rest follows. You'll show up, take action, and finally start to see the kind of momentum you've been working so hard for. Here's what happens when you start working with your brain instead of against it. You recognize your chimp's hijacks so you can soothe it before it derails you. It's a function of your brain. It's 100% normal. Just see it for what it is. Engage your human to focus on clear, logical decisions that move you forward. And reprogram your computer to reinforce habits that support your success. So the next time your chimp hijacks your vehicle or brain, and it will, it starts irrationally like pounding the GPS system, wanting directions. Wait, maybe that was me. You know everything will be okay. Mind management isn't about trying to stay positive and pretend everything's fine. It's about understanding how your brain actually works so you can get out of your own way without the collateral damage. Your mind is your greatest business asset. So I'm going to pause for a second and recap here. Remember, these three really simple parts of your brain. Now, there's a whole lot more to it, and this is the work of Professor Steve Peters, and you can go read some of his books out there. Really, really incredible stuff. You have the chimp, which is always leading, always, always leading, very emotional, very irrational. You can't move it out of the driver's seat, okay? You have the human, you, the one that wants to do the things you want to do and reach the goals and help people, have fun, right? Get on, make progress. And then the computer, all of those habits. But the thing is, all of those instructions, right? This is where the chimp will, when it begins to freak out, it will go to the computer and say, "What do I do? What do I do?" And if the computer has some not so great information, instructions, habits, typical responses, well, then the chimp goes into full blown panic. And you've been there before, but you may not have realized what was happening. Like I said, it's a function of your brain. It's what your brain does. And there's reasons for it. And there's reasons that are really, really good. It's saved your life. It has kept us alive. It has helped us evolve. It's just that you have to know, you have to understand what's happening in the moment so that you can say or ask the question, is this helpful to me right now or not? Do I need it to survive or not? And move on. Again, your mind is your greatest business asset. So protect it. Learn to manage it. Learn to manage it in a way so that you stay in the flow. When you manage it, as everything else, as I said, starts to flow. The more you take control of your thoughts, the easier it becomes to show up, take action, and finally build the coaching business that you're dreaming of. It's time to stop letting your chimp hijack your mind and show it how to lead with clarity and confidence. Treat your chimp like your BFF. When it starts to freak out and panic, you wouldn't jump in with your BFF and freak out and panic and make everything worse. You wouldn't either ignore your BFF and walk away. You'd say, "It's going to be okay. I got you. We got this. Don't worry. Let's look at this a little bit more closely. Let's see what's really going on." To date, this has been the very best tool I have ever used, and I highly recommend Professor Steve Peters' work. It's made me a better coach, entrepreneur, and 100% better person. And I know it can do the same for you. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for the Solo Coach podcast. It means so much to me that someone out there is listening. Now, if you know it's time to do something different about your business, and you know if it is, consider joining me for my Happy and Successful Business Mastermind, where you can get clarity, support, and a plan. I'll leave details in the notes below. I also want to share a free resource for you. If you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter, Find Coaching Clients, I encourage you to do so. I'll deliver to your inbox tips and strategies that make finding coaching clients for your business much easier. I'll see you next time.